Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Internet Friends, the episode where we realize we're in a simulation and we desperately want out of it.
No, I want to be plugged back in. I'm taking that blue pill. I'm taking that blue pill all day long. Nom, nom, nom.
So many pills. I think there was
I've taken Molly that someone found on the street before, so
and lived to tell the tale.
Surprisingly,
We're assuming it was Molly.
it was a blue transformer.
So Viagra.
No, it was a little blue Autobots logo.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Drugs are cool.
They are.
Drugs are
I'm
cool.
a fan. Have you guys seen those like mushroom gummies that they're selling at gas stations now?
No.
I haven't picked one up yet, but I'm gonna try it.
So, tell me, Steph, how do those rhino pills work?
Come frothy, which was something I wasn't expecting. I have not taken one, but I have a friend who was just taking all of the gas station pills for a little while, and he was like, "Dude, the weirdest thing, I took that rhino shit, it made my cum frothy," and I was like, "That's not good. That's not something that you should have happen."
It's probably a good thing we all live in different parts of the country because it makes it to where Seth would become my plug for most things. And would give all the disclaimers that they have on drug commercials where it's just the commercial is a minute long but only 15 seconds is selling you on the drug, and the last 45 seconds is just here's everything it's going to do wrong to you.
Yes, potentially. Allegedly.
Yes.
So anyways, have you guys been?
It's an antidepressant medication, but it'll give you suicidal thoughts.
And depression.
Yeah.
It's you'll want to kill yourself but you'll be happy about it.
That's an improvement.
Oh, speaking of therapy, so how are you, Seth?
I'm doing all right. Other than the heat wave, I'm doing okay.
I like
How are you? How are you, buddy?
I like how we started the show in winter and we were talking about how much snow we were getting, and now we're in summer and we're just hey, the sun's trying to kill us.
Actively.
Not that we don't deserve it, but
not that we don't want it at this point, because honestly, please.
And just remember, this is the coldest summer for the rest of our lives.
Thanks, Homer.
Yep.
I hate it.
Yeah, I didn't steal that from a tweet I saw last year. No, I didn't steal
I was
that
about to
joke.
say I was seeing that joke a lot circulating last week when everybody was in heat wave heat advisories.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Bria, what about you? Have you been?
I'm okay. I have a time off, which is very exciting. Next weekend, I have completely off, and I can't tell you the last time I had a weekend off, and I don't know what to do with myself. And I'm very excited. It turns out working real shitty, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm gonna try to not do it as much as possible. This capitalism thing, not great. I don't know if
And
you
check
know.
one on the capitalism counter.
Yeah.
Ding. Check that off.
It's frustrating because I'll work so much and people are like, well, you got to think about the money, and I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't fucking want the money. I want to rest. I want to see my friends.
It's one of those
fuck
things
this.
as you get older you realize it's just I don't want to be rich, I just don't want to pay rent.
Yeah, I want affordable rent. Is what
I want to be comfortable. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Security is what I want.
if I could pay the rent that my mom was paying literally 10 years ago on a 2-bedroom apartment in Albuquerque, I would be stoked for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The rent I was paying 10 years ago, I'd be stoked.
Yeah.
No question. I was thinking of doing a luxury apartment just because at this point it's kind of the same price as a regular apartment.
Yeah.
So I was like, I might as well get a bougie fucking apartment for $2,000 a month because that's the base cost here now. So
Me and Emily are doing some 5-year planning, and a lot of the 5-year planning is where can we move where it's a million times more affordable?
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Well, no, we she was looking at Memphis actually recently.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And then we were
it's affordable, but the racism. Oh.
Yep.
I'm going to let you in on a spoiler that racism's everywhere, Seth.
Have you been to Memphis? I have.
What'd you guys think of my new treatment of the show, by the way?
I liked it.
It's good.
I like the visuals.
Me too. It's good.
I was just trying to
Visuals.
make it look like we actually had production value behind it. And it's mostly
Yes.
just because
It's nice.
I just have a bunch of like Adobe stock licenses for stuff, so I was just kind of like, all right, might as well just like get stuff so I can just like not, you know, be at risk of copyright infringement on the internet anytime I do anything.
We love that.
Gonna steal it and then make AI off of it, and then
Oh yeah, no, they have.
You know.
I turn off the generative AI thing every time I have to go looking for something for work because I'm just like, one, it's trash, and two, I don't like this, and three, they're getting sued by by the Department of Justice and the FTC right now. So
Love it.
hopefully that pays off pretty well for us going down the future.
It is
Yes.
theft. So
yep.
it is actually theft. So
Well, like the thing,
And evidently terrible for the environment.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
these AI like found that out this week.
well, yeah, it's the same thing as well, it's not the same thing, but it's basically using GPU computing, which so you're using supercomputers running constantly. It was the same problem we had with cryptocurrency and crypto miners. It's just like you have this power running constantly. The power's coming from somewhere.
just to make something with like 11 fingers on each hand.
Yeah. But no,
Five tits.
the thing that they're getting sued for specifically is like all the dark pattern stuff they do to prevent you from canceling your things and having like a hidden cancellation fee that they never told you about in the terms of service. Basically being anti-consumer and competitive because it's Adobe. Once they establish their monopoly, they're going to hold that grip tight and get every ounce of capital they can out of you.
It will be good luck learning anything else.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been trying to see if there's like any open source stuff that I can replace some of the stuff that I use on a regular basis. There's really not that much good stuff out there. There's some things that you can get away with, like Audacity, but like trying to replace Photoshop or replace Premiere is not easy. Anyways, so glad to see you guys are at least holding up. So anyways, this leads us into our first topic of the day, which was our homework, which was set by Seth. And this week we watched The Matrix. So Seth, go ahead and take it away.
Think? I love this movie. I realized talking to you guys about it last week where you both were like, hey, I haven't watched it in forever. I was like, oh, I watch this like every couple of years. I love the trilogy. I'm a defender of the sequels. Not the fourth one. The fourth one's bad. Don't watch it. But 2 and 3 are good. 3 is long. But I like these movies. What did you guys think?
Here's the thing. I have notes for this. So, I do think I watched it in 2 parts because it's too long. It's such a long movie. I will say, and I was giving it credit for jumping in right away, and I was like, oh, it doesn't jump in right away. It's just like there's a lot of training montages and stuff. I will say, I kind of loved seeing the old technology. Like the second they pull out that fucking Nokia and like the CD cases, like all of that was just like filled me with happy nostalgia, and I did really love seeing that. I think outside of the effects, it actually holds up pretty well. It's very entertaining. It's very it's action packed. It's the characters are okay. The romance makes absolutely no sense. But
not really. It drops in there with that romance.
It's like, I was told by an old woman that I would fall in love with you if you were actually the one. So, yeah. Like, and prophecy
I've spent
true.
15 whole minutes with you, so and boy girl kiss, so
yeah.
And also the final fight I thought was very hilarious because they go in to the lobby with like fucking stacked so many guns on them. They use all of them and like on the fucking goons in the lobby. I was like, you guys are bad at this. You are not the one. If you are, this is bad. Give up.
It's very funny how that scene had become like the poster child for mass shootings. For so long, the idea,
outfit,
the idea of like if you see a guy in a black trench coat walking into like a secure building, like instantly like tackle that guy. Don't even ask questions. We have to give
Columbine its dues, though. Like we have to give Columbine its dues when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Oh God. Also, does headbutting work? I feel like headbutting was such a thing in like movies at this time. Headbutting, does that not just hurt you? I just don't understand.
It's like an attack in Pokemon where you take a little bit of damage, but you do more damage to the other one, I think.
As
I just
somebody
think the
who
skull is not that protective.
as somebody who used to play a contact sport that required me to like run into somebody at full speed, typically knocking our heads together, wearing helmets, I will tell you, it will hurt somebody, including yourself, as Seth said.
And you. Ouchie. It's fun though. I think it holds up. Again, outside of the effects, which are like so hokey now. I still thought it was very entertaining. It's very action packed. It was a little long for me, but I still enjoyed it. And also, I don't know, just some of the like action movie things, like just I still fucking hit. Like when she has the gun to his head and says "dodge this," I was like, yeah,
Oh, so good. That's one of my
it's
favorite
so
parts.
good.
Which
is so stupid because I don't know why he avoided her. Like he should have known she was still there, but like
yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but it's still like I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Aaron?
Yeah, kind of like just going over kind of some of my notes that I had initially watching it. I first I was just like, God, set design was so bad back then, especially in like that first opening scene. And then I was just like, oh, that's right. They're trying to establish that like technically this is fake. This is the fake world. And then also it's like clearly filmed on a lot, and like all the walls have to like be in certain thing for all the stunt coordination, because like they're breaking through windows and stuff, so everything on the set needs to be more or less brittle and fall apart, so like it looks that kind of way when you look at it. You know, you got to give this movie a lot of credit for the influence that it had on the genre too. Both sci-fi and action movies, because basically everything basically got ripped off in the hell. Like Keanu Reeves' entire career is basically just a rip off of this movie. Like there's things that I know that they used as callbacks in John Wick that came from this movie. The scene where they have Neo in the interrogation room is like, this could be Constantine, like if you did it from certain frames.
Could be.
And so
I love Constantine. That's a good movie.
Yeah. Very underrated for its time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, it's amazing the legacy of this movie considering all the stuff, and like yeah, some of the graphics don't hold up these days, but it was also 1999, which when you kind of consider that and you know the nostalgia of the technology at the time, pretty fun. And like, you know, they're still using, you know, the payphones and rotary phones and stuff like that. It's just like there's no way that can work. Steph, to kind of your point, I have watched the fourth movie, Resurrection, and the only redeeming thing about that movie I will say is that like the first act of that movie is literally everyone just being annoyed by the fact that they're making that movie.
That is a big part of that.
But yeah, what do you guys kind of think of, like, you know, how this movie has impacted, I think, not just popular culture, but culture in general? Because there's a lot of stuff that gets borrowed from this movie that's still talked about today.
And misconstrued and taken the complete wrong way.
Yeah, no, we could just talk about red pilling.
Red pilling, which I found out watching a video, and I forgot to write down the name of the person who created it. There's a video on YouTube about all of the trans allegories in The Matrix. It's a great video. Can't remember the title or the person who did it. I'm sorry. But they talk about in there how the red pill in the 90s, estrogen was a red pill.
Oh.
So being red pilled is taking estrogen.
Yeah. No, I've heard about the discourse about the trans allegory stuff, and it is one of those things where, yeah, you look back on it now and you're just like, I can see it. It's not ham-fisted, and it's not like super pushed for the forefront, but especially considering that the Wachowskis are both transgendered. And so, you know, back then they were called the Wachowski brothers, now they're just the Wachowskis. You know, so like having that kind of influence there, looking back on it, makes a lot of sense, especially in regards to basically the idea of understanding that a lot of the stuff that we deal with day to day is socially constructed and not necessarily like how anything actually works, and freeing yourself of that is kind of the main thing of that. And that's a big thing to where, again, the red pill and trans allegory kind of comes with it.
I was really looking for it this time because I was like, it's been so long since I've seen this. I'm wondering if how overt it was. But I think to your point, like, if you are looking for it, you will definitely see it. But if you're not looking for it, I don't think you would see it at all. Like, I don't think it's like. I think you could also just take it for what it is. But I now knowing what I know now, it's pretty clear.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, there's also
Yeah.
people there who probably aren't even aware of the Wachowskis and that stuff anyways. And if you told them that, hey, did you know the people who made this movie are transgender? They would be like, no. And just fake news.
Yeah. Yeah, all the Christians that I grew up with who were like, this is a Christian movie. This is an allegory for Christ and for heaven and how the real
No. Again, going to the misconstruedness, going back to the misconstruedness of red pilling.
Yeah.
I hate how that term's been adopted in current context.
Oh, it's unfortunate. Fucking incels, man. They
Yep.
ruin
Oh my
everything.
They do.
Yeah. And like the thing that like completely like the thing that they missed the point on biggest is just like, look, taking the red pill is realizing how horrible everything is. It's not the everybody else is wrong and I'm right. That's not what taking the red pill is.
Yeah.
And the blue pill is, again, it's the copium. It's the I accept everything as is.
Absolutely. I will say,
Right,
I
give
don't
me
know.
those blue pills.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't notice the Chicago influence the first time I watched this. It doesn't take place in Chicago, but the street names they're mentioning are all Chicago streets.
Yeah, they're from Chicago.
Which is very cool. Yeah, it's definitely not like the city. I believe it's based off of Sydney, or part of it was filmed in Sydney. It doesn't look a thing like Chicago, but there's a Chicago influence there. All the street names that they mention are cross sections in Chicago. So I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. I know where that is, kind of.
Yeah, no, the Wachowskis are famously from Chicago. And did you guys ever watch Sense8?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So it's a Netflix series that the Wachowskis did back in 2014 to like 2016. Basically, Netflix gave them a crazy crap ton budget where they filmed it internationally, and the idea is basically 8 people are suddenly like psychically linked across the world, and like there's this kind of whole dynamic of it. And so like part of it, like one of the people in this cluster is like part of Chicago PD. You have a trans woman in San Francisco who's a hacker. You got like a guy in Eastern Europe who's like mob assassin type dude. It's a very crazy thing. Emily loved the show. It was like her favorite thing ever. The problem is that basically the Wachowskis were blowing huge amounts of money making the show, so they only got 2 seasons and a 2-hour season finale. And that's like basically all they got to do the story. But like it is like, definitely kind of one of those things where the Wachowskis are very good at stringing together a whole bunch of really kind of interesting themes and ideas in a sci-fi fantasy space, and I think that's where they're best at. But also at the same time, they've run into the problem where people keep asking them to do certain things that they just don't want to do, hence Resurrection.
Yeah, which that wasn't both of them. That was Lana, I think, right? Who did that one?
I think they were both involved, but I think Lana was spearheading, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But they both had their name on it. But like their level of involvement might have been a little bit different. But you could tell watching that movie, it was just kind of like, we want to make a movie, so
this is all they're letting us make now that Jupiter Ascending failed.
Crazy.
We all forget that movie exists.
My favorite, absolute favorite thing about this movie is such a small thing, but it's when Agent Smith catches Neo's hand and he does the like flick, and that sound that Agent Smith makes, that like, it's just the best sound in the world. I love that sound so much.
The sound design, the story coordination was really good. Obviously, the stunt coordinator who did this also ended up doing the John Wick movies, hence why going back to like all the like influence that it had specifically on Keanu Reeves' career. Like, hey, you could do action movies and you could do rom-coms.
And we'll throw in a Bill and Ted.
Well, that was
get
before
one
this.
Of those.
Well, no, he did technically get a Bill and Ted after this because he did the sequel
the
thing.
sequel.
One. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, is George Carlin in it? No. It's just like, you didn't bring him back to life? I don't want to watch it.
Crazy.
We're not using AI to bring George Carlin back, then I don't want it.
You know, in fairness, I think if we used AI to bring George Carlin back, George Carlin would actually come back from the dead to kill us.
There was a podcast a little while ago, or people from a podcast a little while ago, who claimed they had like used AI to create a whole George Carlin set that you could read. It turns out they hired someone to write it, and they were just lying.
I was about to say, like, there's no way you can convince me that an AI can write anything like Carlin can write. That's, like, physically impossible. I love everybody trying to make AI a thing. Did I tell you guys that, like, they are using an AI thing to make our training modules at work?
Oh, no.
They're so bad.
Of course.
Like, one, I wasn't consulted on it, so like it was one of those things where it's just like because I was just like, okay, first off, I'm okay with us using AI for this because if we weren't, I would be the one making these, and I don't want to be making these.
Fair.
Two, so they used a program, and they have a woman who is not real, but like you could tell like they used like a photo of a woman and then are using AI to like have her talk and everything. The voice doesn't match the face like motion things you can see, like where like the mouth suddenly stretches out and like the forehead moves really weird, and like
it's a nightmare.
And the face is in every single frame. And like literally the feedback I sent them was just like, okay, if we're going to do this, you need to drop the creepy woman talking the entire time. Jesus. Just text and voice. That's all you need.
Getting back to the movie, that was something that I thought was really funny this time. Is when Morpheus is like explaining the Matrix to Neo. He's like, at the end of the 21st century, humanity gathered and celebrated our greatest achievement of AI. And I was like, well, they couldn't have missed the mark on that line anymore. Like,
turns out, in fact.
We are so angry and upset about AI, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also doesn't help that like the AI that we have today is not remotely the AI they're talking about now. We're literally just talking about a complicated algorithm in our own context. What they were doing was actually creating a consciousness.
Yeah. They had robots that built their own like little silly city.
Silly city.
I'm gonna die first in this war, but yeah.
Bree will probably die last just based on horror movie rules.
Hell yeah. I'm the last girl.
Just don't have sex, Bree, during the entire runtime of it, and you should be fine. The moment you have sex, you're screwed.
Yep.
Literally.
I've seen the original Friday the 13th. I've seen when that spear went through Kevin Bacon.
You rewatch those.
I think I've only seen the first one.
I've seen like random ones sporadically. We actually bought a board game for Father's Day to play that was it was called Last Friday, but it's a board game that's specifically designed around Friday the 13th. So it's like the camp, you play the campers, but it's asymmetrical. So there's also a player playing the killer. And so basically you're trying to avoid the killer and the killer's chasing you, but you can't see the moves that the killer's making. And if you cross paths with the killer, they kill you. But then it flips. But then it flips on the next round where basically you're trying to kill the killer. And it just goes back and forth like that until the last round.
Because I know we're going to get comments. I think I said Freddy Krueger was in Friday the 13th. That's not true. It's Jason Voorhees. Also, it's not Jason Voorhees in the first one. It's Mama Voorhees. Yeah. I know that. Don't fucking at me.
I don't know that.
Send all your hate mail to Seth at
Seth.com.
At Seth23.
Actually, do send hate. It'll to my TikTok, and it'll boost my engagement.
Yeah. That Seth23 on TikTok. Just so everybody knows.
Yes.
Then
like and comment. And save.
Or hit uninterested, and that still counts as interaction. So you'll still see my videos.
That's all you can really ask for at this point. We actually did last week get one comment on our Cybertruck bit that we did.
I knew that was going to be the one.
I was waiting.
And it was specifically them just being like, damn, why are you being so mean? To which I'm just like...
Why are you a dumb idiot?
I'm sorry.
Why are you being so mean? It's my $100,000 truck.
It's just like, okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a secret, buddy. Elon Musk has too much money to give a shit what we think. Tesla has too much money to give a shit what we think. And the people who bought it hopefully have too much money to give a shit what we think. And if they don't, they probably shouldn't have bought it.
I think you're wrong on one point. Elon Musk 100% cares what we think.
That's
This
it.
guy, he wants to be cool so bad.
I tried actually reactivating my Twitter just to like kind of like get things going, or I guess X now. And reactivating it, it says like, we think you violated Twitter's rules. Your account is like completely deactivated. I'm just like, so let me get this straight. This thing that I haven't used in 3 months has suddenly violated X rules.
You violated the rules by not using it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. You should be praising Elon Musk. What are you doing?
You know, free
He's
speech.
so great, cool.
Yeah, free speech.
He's going to be one of the people that like makes a deal with the machine so that he has admin powers in the Matrix.
No question.
Without a doubt.
He's selling out humanity for sure.
No, it's about free speech and ending all the bots on the platform.
Mhm.
Also,
That's it.
we want you to pay us money, and also we have done nothing about the bots on the platform.
Hey, but we are officially allowing porn.
I must say, likes are privated now. You can't see people's likes anymore. So now you can like
True.
all the porn you want. No one will know.
Again, they should have done that like 10 years ago anyways, but...
Probably.
The trash fire that is Twitter.
Yes. So the Matrix. We keep getting off. Any other thoughts you guys have?
It was good and I liked it. I'll watch it again in another 12 years.
I feel like I need to revisit the sequels just because I don't remember them as well as I remember this movie.
I have to warn you, the scene with the architect, it's just a full exposition dump. They just sit you down and go, okay,
oh, yeah,
for the next
I
15
remember
minutes, we're going to tell you the Matrix.
I remember that. It's really funny because I put it on yesterday, and it was one of those things where it's just like, okay, how much of this do I remember? And like literally, like I remember the exact like pacing and plot where it's just like, okay, I can like get up and go like make some food in the kitchen during the next like 5 minutes because I know like the next 5 minutes is just these things, and like sure enough, like every single beat was just like, oh, I do remember this movie and how it goes.
And I think part of that is it's the way it's stuck with pop culture. It's one of those movies, it's kind of like a Rocky at this point, where I feel like everyone's seen it, even if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And you get it.
And the
You've seen enough clips of it.
And the plot's a lot less complicated than I remember it being when I was, 13, 14, watching it for the first time.
Well, your brain's fully developed.
Yeah. Now it's just like, okay, no, I'm following along with this a lot better. Before I was just like, get back to shooting guns and doing flip things. And the girls dressed in leather. That's what I came here for.
Fair. Oh, you got that rave scene in the next one to look forward to. That's not fun at all.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't really remember the other two movies. I remember the basic plot and, like, how convoluted it is.
Mhm.
It makes sense. If you pay attention to it, if you watch the Animatrix and if you play Enter the Matrix, it makes sense. It all works. I legitimately love the lore of this universe. I think the Wachowskis did a really good thing here.
I don't disagree with you. My only kind of like critique is like, again, so you also have to now remember to watch the Animatrix and also play Enter.
Was this Kingdom Hearts? Come on.
Basically,
Yeah.
you're getting into now the Star Wars problem is like there's way too much external media that like I now have to keep track of to have anything in track of canon. Which is why I tell people in comics or anything else, it's just like, just so you know, canon is bullshit. Don't worry about it. Find the stuff you like and just enjoy it.
Not worth it.
Yeah. Who cares if Sutek was on the TARDIS the entire time? Just accept the show and move on.
All right, Seth now has to put $1 in the Doctor Who jar.
Oh man, I don't have $1.
Capitalism.
In this economy?
Who carries around cash anymore? Just Venmo me. It's fine.
Hey, no paper trail, and that's becoming more and more important in this day and age.
No, you're not wrong.
Absolutely.
Remember, kids, money isn't real. Invest in bullets.
That was another thing I liked about this one, about my viewing this time, is that when the agents have Neo, and they're like talking over like everything he's done, he's like, you have 2 lives. In one life, you're Thomas Anderson. You pay your taxes. And I'm like, even Neo, a hacker, pays his taxes.
We gotta fund a genocide somehow, right?
Right?
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
We're not going to give you affordable health care, but we'll make sure that other people in other countries definitely aren't going to need health care.
Do you think there's healthcare in the Matrix, or was that a part of the like perfect Matrix that no one could accept?
I think there's a lot of stuff in the perfect Matrix that, like, I was just like, it's the stuff we're basically asking for, which is why we haven't gotten it.
Yeah, I will say they do go a little extreme in the next couple movies with like how many different versions of the Matrix there have been. The reason that like one was just like a horror nightmare with like ghosts and vampires, and that's where all those legends come from. Is they're like remnant programs.
Again, convoluted.
Yeah, very convoluted.
I've
You
never
got
seen
white
them.
guys. No,
No,
it's fair.
Should I?
Sorry.
Should I watch them?
I like them, but they're a slog your first time.
I feel like
it
we
is
need-
hard
Okay.
to get through them.
I feel
the
like
first
we
time.
need to organize like a watch party commentary thing, like at
That would be fun.
some point where like we all just like hop on a Discord call. It's not recorded, but we just like watch something together, and just like
If we're not doing it for content, why are we even here?
I mean,
We gotta monetize.
I mean,
baby.
our channel doesn't have monetization at this point. We only have 30
Oh well, I'm
subscribers.
gonna log off right now. See you later.
I told you guys. At this point, you guys owe me money.
Fuck. I get a producer credit for this one. That's gotta be worth something.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair enough. You are racking up the producer credits. That is for sure. Bree is carrying this podcast on her shoulders, which is saying something because she does a lot of pole dancing, and as such, her shoulders are hurting a lot.
They're super strong though.
This is true.
And they need to be super strong to carry my fat ass.
Specifically, I'm training just for that.
Well, I mean, I want to ride on your shoulders at concerts so that I can actually see.
How tall are you?
5'6".
I still say he's not that tall.
I'm taller than you. We've met.
Yes, we actually have all been in the same room in person before.
Believe it or not, we have been.
Yeah, allegedly.
I will be concerned if either of you try to put me on your shoulders. I would not recommend it.
No. I forget how tall you are. I forget, like, you're a big man.
Oh, I'm 6'3", 260, and most of it's muscle.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you're so tall.
I
You're
tower.
like a giraffe.
I forget how tall I am sometimes until I'm around like normal-sized people, and then I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like, I was in the grocery store the other day, and there was this woman who like probably was like 5'6", 5'7", you know, what you would consider to be a normal height, and I'm like a foot and a half taller over her. Like, I'm just like, am I really this huge?
I like that that's normal height. I'm 5'3". How dare you?
You're the short queen of the podcast, Brie.
Absolutely. 5'4" is average, so I'm just below average. Yeehaw.
Just work on some of like those decompression stretches on your joints to like make you just like half an inch taller.
Well, I used to be 5'2", so I already did them.
so you actually creeped up sets.
I did. This is the height. This is all I'm getting.
That's good.
Oh man. So, anyways, Matrix, go watch it. Go be a little bit more cultured on your sci-fi and philosophical fantasy lore stuff. Very good.
And please, for the love of God, learn how to have media literacy.
Yeah.
Please.
Not enough people have that these days.
Oh, trust me, it's basically, if I do anything YouTube-ish again besides this podcast, it's going to just be a media literacy channel of just kind of like, how the fuck do you guys not understand this?
Yeah. It's almost like they didn't teach it in schools.
Yeah, basically.
But they did. And no one paid
I did
attention.
film studies.
Or they
an
started
easy
to do
credit.
it and then somebody shut it down real quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I took English class, so like that's where I got it.
Mm.
The curtains are not just blue, by the way. So evidently, you guys, the sides of TikTok, haven't been arguing about this for the last 2 weeks, like my side of TikTok has been. It's been a huge debate on my side of TikTok.
I was about to say my side of TikTok has been the Dr. Disrespect stuff, which I talked about pre-show, which is just like, again, Guy got banned, perma-banned from Twitch 4 years ago, and they never explained why. Writing was on the wall.
TikTok is terrible sometimes, so I've been on it less and less. I found that it's good for exactly 1 hour. Past that hour, it is not good anymore. Do not be on it past an hour.
That's fair.
I've been having a doom scrolling issue where it's just kind of like, it's just like one of those things where it's just like, okay, like I can take like a few seconds, I'll just go through, and the next thing I know, I'm just like stuck in the hole, just doing the swipes thing. So I'm just kind of like, I need to like tap down on this.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse, and I'm just like, I just don't need to know how like horrible the world is all of the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking,
All right, are we want to talk about blackface?
Well, I was about to say, speaking of the world being horrible, we have on this docket thing about blackface and cosplay. Alistair at Fan Expo. Brie, was this you?
No, this is me.
No.
Oh, this was you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no context for this. That's why I tried looking it up. Citation
at Fan
needed.
Expo, yeah, at Fan Expo a couple weeks ago, there was a cosplayer walking around as Alistair from Hasbin Hotel in full blackface, and apparently they weren't the only one. Yeah,
Yes,
there was, I think,
cosplayers.
3 is what I heard is the number. A character who is not black.
I was about to say, am I remembering Alistair's design wrong?
You are not. So it's like double awful because it doesn't fucking make sense, and also why, and also what, and it's 2024. Like, what's happening?
We should know better as a cosplaying community.
The cosplay community has always been fucking weird about that shit, though. Because actually, there was another. I was on the TikTok about like the Alistair thing, and there's another character from I think Monster High, and it's a black cat, and there's a weird amount of white people putting black paint on. They're like, no, but it's a black cat. I was like, think for a fucking second. Think for 2 seconds, please. Like, it doesn't matter. It's still the same outcome.
There are other ways to go about getting a result than putting black face paint on.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, I needed a refresher. It's just like, I don't remember Alistair being black. It's like, no, so there was no excuse for that. Okay, got that part. And then,
did you see the picture when you looked it up?
I haven't seen anything about the blackface. I'm just looking at his character design right now.
Like, it's not even up to interpretation. Like, it is blackface, like 120%.
Yeah,
For
100%.
no reason. There's never a reason for it, but like, what even?
Yeah.
The only thing it's missing are the big white lips and the minstrel gloves.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing it's missing.
Yeah, I remember there was a conversation back when Black Panther was coming out. It was like, is it okay for a white kid to dress up as Black Panther for Halloween and kind of stuff? And it was like, that was one where I was just like, yes, but
as long as you're wearing the Black Panther costume and mask.
Yeah. It's like,
I will say, I think that character in particular is a little touchy. I think that would be one that I don't want to speak for people of color, but I'm like, I think that one's a little on the maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but like, it is one of those things, like a kid, but being like, Black Panther's my favorite superhero, I want to dress as Black Panther for Halloween. Like, how do you that leads to like, now you have to explain it to a kid. Like, it's just like, okay, so here are the issues
Kids are
with
completely
that.
different. I think that's more on the table, at least from my experience. Like, it's when a grown-ass adult who should fucking know better. Because I think there's been this discussion for a long time. It's like, oh, well, I can't cosplay any, characters that are not the race that I am. I'm like, to my understanding, I don't think people really care as long as you're not fucking doing blackface. Like, it's just like, or painting your skin darker or anything like that. Like, and also, which is like the biggest point, pick any other character. They're like majority, like 99% white characters. It's been that way for centuries. So I'm like, maybe you don't have to play this one fucking character. Like, get the fuck over it, white people. Seriously, it's not that hard. And cosplayers especially way behind on that shit, and I don't understand it. It's such a weird fucking hill to die on.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is one of those things where it's just kind of like, at some point, it's just like, look, if you want to say the quiet part out loud, just say the quiet part out loud. We don't need you to like try to defend yourself.
But people might be mad at me if I'm that honest. If I do it this way, people will just think I made a mistake.
But then I'll get canceled.
And you deserve it.
Yeah.
But no, like, but that's the weird thing about this one with the Alistair thing, because like, there's no reason to have done that. And then like talking about your thing where it's like a black cat character, it's just like you could have figured out how to do that without having to do blackface for it. There's
100%, like any other way.
there's multiple other ways you could have approached this, and yeah, just there's not really an excuse. And it's funny. Oh, did like so this was a funny story. So in Virginia, our governor only gets like one term at a time. They can run again, but they can't run right after they just served a term. So
Okay.
our last governor, before the next cycle of elections, his old college yearbook leaked, and there's a photo of him at a party where half of his friend group, which I think he was in a fraternity, was in KKK, and the other half was blackface. They didn't specify who was KKK, and they didn't specify who in the picture was blackface. Really a no-win situation in either of them. And
That can't get worse.
Icing on the cake, this is a Democratic governor.
Of course it is.
Not surprised.
Of course it is. It's the lesser of two evils. It's fine.
Yeah.
It was such a fucking hilarious shit show, and you're just like sitting like... And like I think like the official excuse is like, oh, we were just in college at a party. It's just like, that's not really a good excuse, bud.
Nope.
Nope. It is not.
I don't understand how we keep having to have this conversation. Like, it is so especially because like I'm just gonna make a small aside here, and I'm gonna talk about this as delicately as I can. My username on a lot of things is Raccoonaloon, so people would call me Raccoon, and sometimes people would shorten that to the point where I had a command on Twitch that would be like, hey, please don't use that word. It's a fucking racial slur, which like blew my mind because like. I guess I didn't consider it because it's such an old slur that I'm just like, I thought people would know better to say that out loud, and that they wouldn't like raccoon is fine, brie is fine, but apparently I don't know what it is. Like it's not that hard actually, and a lot of the stuff has been out there for a long time. Like, don't be racist, you dummies. It's genuinely not hard.
I think one of the things is also it's the Clerks 2 reference to that joke where, you know, he was just like, what, porch monkeys? Like, porch monkeys are a racial slur. Mm-hmm. Seth seems so confused by now. You don't remember this from Clerks 2?
No, I haven't seen Clerks 2.
Oh, okay. So there's a whole bit where, like, Randall uses the term, like, you're acting like a bunch of porch monkeys, and then everybody just, like, needle, scratch, just like, you can't say that. It's just like, that's a racial slur. It's like, no, it's not.
I moved my video further away from Aaron's.
But no, like, the entire joke was just, like, Randall, like, didn't understand that what he was saying was a racial slur, even though everybody was telling him, it's just like, that's a racial slur, you can't say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the whole bit.
And that's also an old one. Like, that's not new. That's not a new slur that's come out. It's just like although half the time I think they do know is all I'm thinking of. I think 9 times out of 10 they do know.
They're being edgelords about it, absolutely.
Yes, I will say, which I have learned from certain things, it seems to be like, especially the word that I was talking about, the shortening of my username, that it is a more American slur. Yeah. So when I have talked to some Canadians, also some deep South people, it is just like, genuinely, they've never used that word that way. In fact, I have a friend who used that word the other day because she is from like Alabama, and she's like, oh, I genuinely didn't know. And I was like, okay, you were from a very rural area. Now you know, don't ever fucking say it again. Thank you. Ugh.
Fun.
It's 2024, people. It's not that hard. The internet is for free usually.
Yeah, but that will also lead them down some very dark rabbit holes, and then they get red pilled.
Yep. We talked about this a little while ago. I like The Boys. By interacting, I mean I watched a couple of videos about The Boys on TikTok. Immediately started getting right-wing content. Just immediately.
Yep.
It's that pipeline.
Yep. It's so easy to slip down it.
Oh yeah, no, I told you about how like a while back it's just like, oh, you're really into car content and motorcycle content? Here's some stuff from the Daily Wire, and Ben Shapiro is just like, you got the incredibly wrong impression for me just being interested in motor vehicles.
There's so many of those pipelines though, because spiritual girlies. Also, there's a quick pipeline of like which is yeah, 100%, which is so sad because I'm just like, I don't want to like. I love crystals. I love like astrology and fun stuff like that. Keep it there. I'm not gonna be like, I don't see color guides. It's like, no,
we're not doing this.
Back it up.
Back it up. Yeah, no, those inner pipes.
I have been workshopping and I don't see color joke for years, and it's not there, and I'm never gonna say it.
Nope. That is one of those ones that you're just like, that one goes in the vault, and then upon my depth, the bolt is to be detonated with Anfo and C4.
Yeah, this is not that joke. It has nothing related to that, but I typed out a tweet once years ago when I still had Twitter, and then went, this one's gonna get the FBI called on me. This one is
delete.
And
they already saw it.
Yeah, probably. Yep. Ugh.
Well, I mean, Seth, you know this. I ended up on IRA TikTok last week, to which I'm just like, yeah, the FBI definitely has a file on me
now. Oh, no.
I used to tweet some horrible things at Trump when he was the president. They definitely were watching me for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I told them I couldn't wait to shit on his grave. They were definitely watching me for a while.
I used to say my dream job was being an eco-terrorist, so I'm 100% on several levels. It's still my dream job, I'll be honest.
I feel like that's
it's a good one.
That's going to be this is the pipeline we're setting up for Internet Friends. You go from Internet Friends podcast to eco-terrorists.
Absolutely. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to blow up some government buildings.
Yeah, no, it's just like...
FBI.
my
IRS.
Again... Just so, FBI, NSA, anybody listening, this is a joke, but my favorite thing to tell Emily when she's in a bad mood is like, do you want me to go blow up Congress? We're only half an hour away.
Well, hey, and we learned this week that you can storm a Capitol and not be arrested, but don't you dare sleep on the street.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, guys. It's fine.
I think I did tweet during January 6th, like, it's just kind of like, I tweeted something before like a lot of stuff came out, which like being like, I have absolutely zero respect for Capitol Police now because like if they can basically just let this kind of shit happen, I basically should be able to do whatever the fuck I want around DC.
Yup.
Granted, I would never go to DC in the first place.
More than fair.
Oh, I popped my neck shaking.
I saw that happen in real time. I saw your eyes literally just go from shaking your head.
I don't like being in my 30s.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
So that's blackface and cosplay.
Moral of the story.
Brought to you by 3 white people.
Moral of the story, just don't do it. Just don't.
Yeah,
it's not that hard, idiot. Thank you.
It's like, if you happen to have like black body paint in your house, take it and put it in the trash.
First off, why do you have black body paint in your house?
Yes.
We're not asking questions here.
I honestly, it's amazing that I'm now nostalgic for the days of people just like sitting in a bathtub full of Sharpie ink. Like, I miss that.
Simpler times.
I hate it here. Still bad times, just different bad.
Anyways, a little bit of video gaming news. We are now in the throes of summer, and there's been some more game announcements. And also, we're in Steam Summer Sales Fest now, so you can actually get some pretty good deals on Steam. I was talking about this a little bit during pre-show. Picked up the Arkham Trilogy. I picked up XCOM 2 for like $3 and a couple of other games. So I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on that as I go, seeing like what else like gets like marked down insane amounts that I never took the time to play.
I got Duck Detective, I got Frog Detective, and I got lots of detective games, very serious, important games.
Frogs involved. Bree is bisexual, so like her's not having frog games.
And duck games, so yeah, and then I found like a hidden objects with just cats. It's just a cat. Find the cat game.
Oh, so is that the Cat Tower game I've been seeing?
Possibly. There's a lot of them. I still have a lot of cute games in my thing.
Yeah,
Listen to the Game Birds.
Yeah,
that's my plug.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely trying to like catch up on some of the indie stuff that I've missed over the years, but it's like Steam is such a huge sea of things. Of just like knowing like what's good and what isn't is always kind of very complicated, and so I'm just trying to like watch the different like podcasts and like people in the space that I know talk about certain things. It's just like, okay, they talked about this. They said they really liked it. Let me go look. Okay, how
It's
much
tough because
how much does it cost, and am I ever gonna have time to get around to actually playing this?
that's the biggest thing. Because like my library is so huge because of these Steam sales, and I just keep buying things. I'm like, hey, but what if? Hey, listen, what if you played these games that you already have?
Yeah, pretty much, and
They're intended to be played.
yeah, that's the problem with Steam because I have like a whole bunch of stuff in my library that I haven't played. Like I got some stuff on Humble Bundle back in the day that
Yeah.
got me some old LucasArts games. FTL I never really got the time to actually play. I picked up Portal, Portal 1 and Portal 2 for like $5 today. So that was
Nice.
pretty good value. So, but yeah, never
Great
played the Portal
games.
games back in the day. So like that's definitely a
Jeez.
big hole. I played co-op with my ex a while, like for like a few hours.
And
back
that's
in the
why
day.
you guys broke up. That co-op is like well known for ending relationships.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna say it was the straw that broke the camel's back, but it was definitely a straw on the camel's back.
Keep that up there.
Like all the classic Star Wars. I have like a Warhammer game that I got like included with my GPU when I did my computer build, and so yeah, a bunch of stuff. And there's definitely a lot of holes in my indie catalog that I definitely need to take the time to actually play because I can't just play AAA games because they're just way too long now.
Yeah,
They are.
not that great. Not worth the money usually.
Yeah, if something.
No.
Anytime I see the EA on anything, I'm instantly like, nope.
No, thank you.
And EA used to be such a good studio, or at least maybe I was just a stupid kid who couldn't tell difference.
I mean, yeah, I mean, probably EA's always been the most problematic of the major publishers. Ubisoft is definitely coming from that crown though these days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Activision was actually very influential in the space because they're the ones who basically brought third-party publishing to video games. Like that, like they're the ones who actually like really like spearheaded that movement, and now they've just gotten so big, and like since the Blizzard merger and now being sold to Microsoft, it's just kind of like, yeah, that soul's gone.
So sad.
We're just Call of Duty now. That's all we do.
Yep.
Do you?
And you will buy it. You will buy it every single year.
Dummy.
I don't even know if they're still doing yearly releases of Call of Duty. I checked out with that franchise after Big Red 1. That's how long ago I checked out of the Call of Duty franchise.
They're still doing yearly releases, but I think they're relying on Warzone to kind of be their buffer with the free-to-play Battle Royale style.
Okay.
But still, like, I was never a Call of Duty kid growing up, so it makes it easier to just not give a shit. And I have a lot
That's
of
fair.
people are just like, when are you going to play Call of Duty with us? It's like, you know, I like my first-person shooters to be like sci-fi and alien-based, not shooting people in a foreign country based.
Yeah, set on that.
I'm
thank
too busy
you.
playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I don't know what you...
It's actually coming out to Switch.
I don't even watch South Park. Can I pull out a South Park reference? What?
I mean, no, that's
I
just...
thought you were really playing that. I'm bummed.
It's getting a re-release,
Yeah, it's
and
getting released.
I might.
It's getting released on Switch.
Nice.
Maybe that'll be a homework assignment.
Maybe.
As I said, that's actually a really good segue. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Until Dawn or the Dark Pictures games at all, but I wanted to bring it up really quickly because they announced a remaster for Until Dawn. I'm a big fan of that game. I love it quite a bit. Are you guys familiar with these games at all?
I know of Until Dawn, and I wanted to get it, and I was actually looking at getting it, and then they announced the remake, and I was like, well, I can just wait a few months.
Yeah, no, I'm basically on the same page as Seth. I'm aware of the game. I've never played it. I'm not much of a horror survivor game person, so like was never truly on my radar, especially since I think the original came back when I wasn't really in the game space.
Yeah.
But the trailer definitely has me intrigued, especially since I do know quite a bit about it. Like it is like very cinematic choice based, and like there's a lot of different outcomes that you can have as you play the game, and that's kind of the big thing with it. It has mine and Seth's favorite trailer trope of let's take a upbeat song from the 90s, slow it down, have a sad girl sing it very slowly and melodically.
Absolutely.
I was just like, why? Why this song? Why this time? Why do we keep doing this?
I hate it. It's simply the worst. Well, it's funny that you say that because despite me being like an alt girl, and this is usually on the alt girl bingo card, I don't like horror movies at all. People always assume that I do, but hate them. Not
But
interested at
but
all.
Brie, why did you dye your hair
Well,
if you don't like watching slasher flicks?
I
it's
simply
because she
must.
has pronouns. That's why she dyed her hair.
Pronouns in the bio. Fuck off. I hate it here.
Yeah.
Until Dawn was something I is a game that I saw somebody else play like on stream, and I was like, you know what, I think I actually might like this. I really like games where your choices actually matter quite a bit. And I played it, and it's a 6 hour playthrough,
It's not
and
bad.
basically not at all. And it is very much like interactive movie, but you have 6 characters, and depending on a bunch of different things you do throughout, all 6 characters can die, all can live, or any variation of that. And it was funny because the first time I played it, the person I had watched, I saw the mistakes they made, and I was like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. I made different mistakes.
Yeah.
So the 3 characters that they killed survived in mine, and then I killed all the rest on accident.
See, the
So
problem I would have with this is like I would identify the characters as like, all right, you're dying, and you're dying.
yes, well, I mean, they can all die in different and exciting ways, and
Right. And like I would make
so-
every playthrough being like, okay, I want to see how this specific character I absolutely hate dies in different ways.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And you could definitely get that with this game. It's definitely a little dated, but I think it was an interesting concept and deals with mental health quite a bit. And they kind of Until Dawn was like a flash, and like it was really special for what it was. There's really has not been a game like this. And with Dark Pictures, who made it, they had like a whole anthology of different games exactly like this, and they've been trying to capture that same like lightning in a bottle again, and they have not been able to do it. And I've watched a lot of those playthroughs, and they're all just getting worse and worse and worse, which is so
Oh.
sad because like this is such an interesting and good format, and I don't know how they did it so well in Until Dawn and then was never able to do it again. So which makes me sad, but I am excited for the remaster. I'll definitely play it when it gets remastered. But along those lines, I was wondering if either of you have a game that you would really love to get remastered, and thoughts on remastering in general, because that seems to be a big trend lately. Also because those games end up being kind of close to full price.
So I have a couple of
Yeah.
thoughts when it comes to the idea of remastering. So there's different tiers of this. There's remake, so that's like we're more or less taking the concept of the game and just like redoing the whole thing. So that's the Final Fantasy VII remake. You know, it's like it's not the same game. We're basically recreating the game from scratch, and we're making changes. But the Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII remake are two completely different games. They are not the same game.
Yes.
You got remaster, which to me is basically it's the same game. We've just more or less updated it to modern standards. So, like for the most part, Until Dawn remaster should be Until Dawn, just graphic fidelity up, maybe some quality of life control updates, kind of stuff. Maybe you can add a little extra new content, but for the most part, the core of the game is still the same. Then you have reboots, which are like, say, Tomb Raider games, where more or less they're just like, we're doing a new batch of Tomb Raiders, we're starting over the story, we're starting over the mechanics thing. It's like not the same as the Tomb Raiders that you played 10 years ago, but they're still Tomb Raider.
Longer than that.
Yeah, 20, 30 years now.
Which the original 3 Tomb Raider games just earlier this year got a remake or
Yeah.
a remaster.
Yeah, got a
where they got
remaster.
a graphical update. They're pretty much the same games. They're good. I like them.
I think all of those different categorizations have their own merits in different ways. I think some things deserve more attention than others. Like, how long did we get between when they did The Last of Us and The Last of Us remaster between PS4 and PS5? Or even PS3 to PS4?
PS3 to PS3 was less than a year.
Yeah.
And the other one was it was the full console because we just got Last of Us Part 1 last year, so that was about a decade.
Yeah.
But yeah, they can't overdo it. I like the idea. I like being able to have these older games still be new and relevant, and getting to like revisit them almost in the way that I remember them being. That was something that I realized I recognized with the Tomb Raider remakes or remasters. Is that I was like, oh, this this is what the game looked like when I thought it looked like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then you press
Yeah.
a button and you're like, oh no, it looked like shit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The Crash Bandicoot remakes are also like that. And then to answer your question, Brie, I'm kind of spoiled because the games that I would want remade have already been remade.
Yeah.
And like we're getting like Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing, Tomb Raider, and we're getting Silent Hill 2 later this year. So I'm spoiled for choice when it comes to my selection.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm happy about that.
Yeah, sadly
'Cause
being a
it's
Nintendo
for
kid,
me.
I do not get as lucky when it comes to remakes and remasters.
No. No, they never do anything.
No.
Unless you're a Pokemon fan, and then you get a remaster.
I mean, I
remake,
loved
whatever.
Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like that was a good time. I was just like, cool. It's like it's literally red and blue again, except like slightly updated, and I can get some Johto Pokemon while I'm in there too. To which I'm just like, that's exactly the level of Pokemon that I want. I just want Gen 1, Gen 2. Gen 3 was okay. After that, I fell off. But yeah, no, there's definitely some stuff I would love to see, especially some like Wii and Wii U era stuff, you know, just get like a little bit of an update and come to Switch.
Yeah.
Epic Mickey.
I don't care about Epic Mickey.
Dude, Epic Mickey's great. That was a great game. How dare you? You get to paint stuff.
If I'm gonna deal with Mickey Mouse, I'll do Kingdom Hearts.
There it is.
Fair.
But yeah, no. So there's definitely some stuff I would wish. Like it's less them wanting to remake it and just having some of those older games be more accessible. Like I can't play Twilight Princess on Switch when like you had it for you did a remaster for Wii U. So like, can't you port it over to Switch pretty easily? You ported everything else over. So it's like, yeah, but like we're just not gonna do it. But like to your point, Seth, like, you know, I think getting some of those older games remastered to modern standards does a great job because, like, yeah, you do go back to some of those older games and you're just like, wow, this does not hold up at all. And so just getting
Do you mind paying for that again? I think that's one of the big debates too that people feel kind of. Well, and maybe more so with like a game like Until Dawn. That is not necessarily that old of a game. It is older, but it's not as old as like some of the games you're talking about. The remaster is same price point. So I believe it's going to be $40 again. So some people are kind of like, that sucks. I already bought this game and now I have to buy. I mean, I'm kind of two minds about it because I was like, well, they did put a lot more work into it to update it. I'm sure that was not just a quick, you know, click. Like they had to put a lot of work into updating those graphics.
For the Until Dawn thing, like, yeah, you could definitely tell like a lot of development went into upgrading it, so it makes sense that they would charge full price. But if like you're just, again, if you're gonna do the Nintendo route where it's just like we're basically just going to port over the N64 game into Switch and it's not gonna be any different, I was just like, well, this is why ROMs and emulators exist.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Because like I'm not gonna just keep paying for the same game over and over again. Like there's stuff in my Xbox that I'm just like I look at in libraries. It's just like I don't want to buy this again on PC, but also at the same time, it's a lot more convenient being in my Steam library than it is trying to pull over from Xbox and everything else like that. And I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes I don't mind.
Half-Life. I would like a remaster of the Half-Life series. There you go.
That'd be good.
Nice.
I don't think Valve's ever going to do that, but
no, they never will.
I mean, it'd be cool if they let like the mod scene like just use Source Engine to just create like the remake for them, and then just be like, licensed and has our blessing, put it out in the world. Because there's plenty of people who would love to work on that and do that.
Yeah.
It would cost them literally nothing. You just give them access to Source Engine and be like, "Hey, you guys want to make our remaster for us?" And I guarantee you, there are thousands of nerds out there who will absolutely fucking do it for them.
Oh yeah,
it would actually probably come out better than Valve could probably do it at this point, because Valve doesn't need to make video games anymore.
They really don't. They're raking in all that Steam money you guys just spent this weekend.
And they'll keep getting my money. I'm not even gonna. I'm like talking about like what we talked about last week with Fable. It's just like technically it'll be coming to Game Pass. I'm gonna buy it on Steam.
Same.
Just as a like, hey, Microsoft, you know that 30% off the top? Yeah, it's going to Valve, not you guys, because fuck you.
Thanks. Nice. I don't know if you guys want to talk about Suicide Squad Isekai. I just thought it was an interesting thing. It just came out 2 days ago.
Yeah, I
The
saw
trailer is very interesting.
It is, yeah. I did watch the first episode, and I thought it was fine. It's tough for me because I'm sure I mentioned this before. I don't like anime at all. I'm realizing as I get older, I like it less and less.
Are you sure you're an alt girl? Because you're really not sounding like one.
You're like, my bingo card is just.
she's just like I just like crystals and dyeing my hair. Everything else, not so much.
Definitely not.
Also being bisexual.
Yeah. Gosh, guys. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I think it was kind of it's a fun concept. I as we mentioned before, I'm pretty sick of these characters. I never thought I would be, but I'm very over Harley Quinn. I would like her to go away so much. She is just like, again, I never say we were sick of the Joker, and I'm just like, she's kind of getting the same treatment now, and it's just like, and it which is almost worse because like I feel like they're working so hard on making her independent that now she's just becoming also the Joker. Like I'm just like, either way, she's just kind of a product of him, and I'm just like, I just don't. Let's give it a rest. There's so many cool female characters out there.
And until cosplayers stop dressing up as every new design they throw out there, that character is not going anywhere. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, Brie.
True.
Sorry to break it to you, but like she's not going away anytime soon.
Definitely not. Makes me sad. I'm very over it, but the show's interesting. It's worth a watch.
I might check it out. I as well am a little sick of these characters. I'm over Peacemaker. I'm over King Shark.
They're
Yeah.
one-trick ponies. Like I just feel like you get the bit, and then you're like, okay, yeah, it was funny the first time. It was funny the first like 86 times, and now it's just like, oh my god, again with this shit. These aren't that great of characters.
Hi, former Warner Brothers Discovery employee here. If they can basically beat something into the ground and then once it's dead, keep beating it, they will.
Mhm.
Direct quote
No.
from David Zaslav.
He said money though.
He's just like, okay, so like, how much money are we gonna make on this? That doesn't sound like enough. Just don't release it, and we'll write it off on taxes.
Yep.
Perfect.
I
will say,
I'm sorry. Other studios are interested in our Wile E. Coyote movie? No, we are writing that off on taxes.
Oh god.
Yo, where's that Scooby Doo movie? I was like, actually, like it's ready to go. Like you guys can just like start cutting together trailers, and we'll release it in like a week. It's just like, nope, dead.
I was gonna mention really quick because I when I was trying to find where I could watch Suicide Squad Isekai, it was on Hulu, and I was like, oh, you know what? I could still do a free trial for that. Perfect. It was the most annoying process signing up for Hulu because everything is bundled now. You actually can't get past the bundle page. Even if you're like, I just want Hulu though, not an option. It stops you right there and you cannot proceed until you bundle it with something else. Which was like,
That's frustrating.
it was so, because especially it was like, because it wanted me to get like the Disney bundle. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'm like, I just want this thing because I'm going to have it for a month and then fucking cancel it. And it would not fucking let me. And I'm just like, oh God, this is where we're at. We're at cable packages again.
Yeah, everything I'm looking at right now, I would not be surprised if they flat out kill Hulu pretty soon and just merge it all into Disney Plus.
No
That's
question.
Probably.
That's definitely seems to be
I
the
think-
path they're moving into.
I think Comcast still owns part of it, so they
They
can't
do.
fully do that yet.
Yeah, but it seems
remember
like
when Hulu was free?
yeah, I do. I
That was a
remember
wonderful time.
that's how I used to watch the Colbert Report all the time back in the day. It was like literally.
That's how I used to watch Walking Dead.
Yeah, no, it's just like cool. Like I just like, and you know what? You accepted the ads at the time because you were just like, cool. I'm not paying for it. Ads, same as if I was watching it on TV. It's whatever.
Captain Midnight just did a whole video about this, and Tubi, how Tubi is starting to like gain a lot of viewer base as a subscription, as a streaming service because it's free, and people are like, well, hey, it's free. I can deal with ads.
Yeah.
100%.
It's one of those things where it's like people will accept ads as long as like it's understood that it's just like I'm not paying for this and I will accept the ad things. Now you have all the ad light models coming and it's just like for The Matrix, for example, watching it on Netflix because I have the lowest paying tier. There were ads playing in The Matrix and God, their ad timing was so horrible.
Oh no.
So horrible.
I can imagine. Like I said, I tried watching Stargate on Prime, and their ad placements were also terrible.
Yeah. It's weird because they didn't do ad placements when we watched She-Ra. Like, I was like one of those things where like I had just renewed the Netflix subscription. And I was just like, I'll get the ad model. Hopefully it's not too thing. And like they never played ads for my entire watch through of that. But The Matrix, something that does not have clear, simple areas where you can do ad breaks, gets like 7 ad breaks placed in, and I'm just like, really, guys, come on.
And I would like to now introduce you to my Lord and Savior, Physical Media.
Yep.
What?
I am genuinely considering like hitting up my dad. It's just like, hey, what Blu-rays are you guys looking to get rid of?
Yeah. It's a good place to get them as your parents getting rid of them, or
well,
friends
like,
who are like.
We used to have a huge DVD collection and Blu-ray collection, so it's like one of those things where it's just like I might consider it. The only problem is like again like where am I going to put it?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because Emily's not getting.
I gotta buy shelves and I gotta move other stuff.
Yeah, Emily's not getting rid of her books. I'm telling you this right now.
and nor should she.
No, absolutely not. We even talked about it when we were talking about possibly moving to Arizona, where it was just like, she's just like, I'm not getting rid of any of my books. It's like, that's totally fine. That's not on the table for negotiations of shit we need to get rid of.
It's going to be fun moving all those books.
Oh,
I
no, it's
moved
good.
a bunch of books when I was moving.
Oh, yeah,
it's not fun at all.
It will suck. Moving books suck.
They're so heavy.
I'm just like, we are going to get rid of the bookshelves and just get new ones from like IKEA or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not dealing with this like freaking plywood piece of shit. Like in a move, like it's just like
it's gonna break anyway.
Yeah, just toss it out and get new ones. It's fine. All right. So, what the fuck is fidgescaping?
Yes.
I just discovered this yesterday. And it's basically, I will say there's quite a few subcategories of this. The one that I particularly was Fridgerton, which was basing your fridge off of Bridgerton. And I will say, I'll give you
all right,
I quit.
All right, this is the last episode of Internet Friends.
Bridgerton. That is the perfect name. That is so good.
It was a good run, guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your guys' weekends.
Oh, you're done this time.
I love it. Oh, full circle. Yeah. We've done it. We've all quit the show at some point now. Exactly. It was your time. So yes, Bridgerton. Basically, it's people like aesthetically designing the inside of their fridge to make it like a more pleasant experience. And I will say, I was mentioning this in the pre-show, like I am on board for this to a certain extent because any of my neurodivergent friends, if I don't see food, if it is not directly in front of me, I will not remember it's there. It could be a food I'm very excited for. Yeah, 100%. Especially produce, I have to have it at eye level. And I fucking love fruit. I love like all of the things I buy. And the second it goes into the crisper or whatever, it's dead. It might as well not fucking exist until it is rotting and smelling. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I guess I forgot about that.
My favorite thing is the bottle of tomato juice that I had like just shoved in the back of the corner on the bottom shelf, which has been back there for God knows how long. And now I just don't even want to look at it.
Oh, 100%. Now I'm too stressed to deal with it. I have a thing of like matcha latte, and I know it's really bad, and I don't want to think about the smell it's going to smell when I dump it out. So it is just staying there until I have the courage to deal with it.
That's the kind of thing you just triple, quadruple bag it, and then you just let God take its course, right?
Like, there's definitely been times where like, because like me and Emily do a lot of like meal prep stuff, and then like there's always like that one that like you didn't use because you were just like, I'm tired of eating the same thing. I'm just gonna go get takeout or something tonight or everything, and then it just never handles. I'm just like, that's why like I don't spend money on really nice like Tupperware or food prep containers, because it's just like if something gets left in the fridge too long, I'm not gonna open that thing. It's just going straight in the trash.
Absolutely.
All of my Tupperware is stuff that came from like delivery places.
Oh yeah,
same. That is all of mine. It's reusable until it's not anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Have you noticed that they're actually printing dishwasher safe and like microwave safe on them now?
They know, which I appreciate, honestly, because I'm like, I'm going to use this until I cannot anymore.
I have a Soda Stream, and specifically the bottles that came with it, they were just like, do not put in dishwasher, not dishwasher safe. And then they started coming out with dishwasher safe. You can put these in the dishwasher bottles. It's just like, I don't know what you guys changed from point A to point B, but thank you.
We really appreciate it. Yeah, I kind of love this whole thing. Like, I don't know. Again, with neurodivergent people, I think this is very helpful because it just makes your fridge nicer to look at. And I love that. It reduces food waste, which is such a huge fucking problem in our country. And I love that country and everywhere. But again, Bridgerton, people are putting books and picture frames and non-edible things into their fridge, and that's where you lose me because I'm just like, what are we doing though? That makes
To
no sense.
recycle my joke from the pre-show, I've never been called poor from somebody else's refrigerator before, and that's how I felt looking at these videos.
No question, because it's like, and listen, I love the Container Store, but like it's all Container Store, like, and that shit is not cheap.
Yeah.
And for how many they have like these little, I saw one where they had like rails on the side where they slid their yogurt into so that they could just like grab it right away. Like the lid of the yogurt would slide onto the rails and slide back. I'm like, that's so cool. That was probably so much money and so much time.
Yeah, no, my reaction to this when I started looking it up is like, oh, this is like trust fund millennial bullshit. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, this isn't for people like me who basically just like it's like college fund. You mean what I used to buy a boat?
Yeah, it's not for people who are too tired to like literally think about food at all and just are grabbing the closest thing to them.
Like that's the thing. My like grocery habits are like way too chaotic to like have this be a thing. Like there's never like a thing like I consistently have in my fridge. Like one week I'm just like it's all hot dogs, like hot dogs all week, and then like next week it's just like completely different things. So like this level of organization just does not work.
But think about how nice those Hungry Man dinners will look if you organize properly.
We're an ingredients household, not a prepackaged food household.
Oh, okay. I became a prepackaged food person.
I have to. I'm just like I'm too tired, and half the time I'm like, I need to eat something, and this is gonna be easy enough. I try to go with healthier versions of prepackaged food. I had to be realistic with my energy and like what I can potentially do that day. I was like, hey, if I'm working 12 hours, I'm not gonna be making food. I don't want to spend my fucking Sunday doing that. So yeah.
No,
prepackaged is fine. Do what you can, friends.
Yeah, no, I'm the housewife, so basically, like, I do all of Emily's meal prep, like, on Monday, like, which is her Sunday, and everything else like that, so she always has prepackaged meals for lunch and everything, and, like, I get home first, and so I make her dinner every day, so, like, we just try to keep it like that.
You're a good husband. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Except for all the things I'm not good at.
The sex stuff. Yeah, you know.
Who told you? Have you been talking to him again?
You told me!
Damn.
You called me very drunk the other night, and you were like, Seth, man, I just can't handle the sex stuff. And I'm like, I don't know why you're asking me. I can't help you. I've never made a woman come in my life. I've never made a man come. And that's the easiest thing in the world to do. And I haven't done it.
Man, I'm so sorry. That sucks. For both of you.
Bray's just like, can't relate.
Yeah, no.
What do you mean? Crazy. Sucks to suck.
All right. Well,
Good job, team.
Well, have fun organizing your cucumbers in like aesthetic ways, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, filing my cucumbers away.
There's an eggplant joke somewhere there.
Oh, absolutely.
Man. So, anything else?
You're
Anybody?
gonna have them standing up, like how a lot of people like display their bad dragons.
I could.
I'm gonna bet you.
I
I will bet you $20 somebody has already done that.
No fucking question. No question.
Yeah. Oh, I looked it up. No one has done the Wolverine with penises for claws. I looked it up. It doesn't exist.
Well, that's a niche that you now have to figure out to make work. Seth, I expect it on my desk by Friday.
All right. Oh, I can't draw.
It's like I expect the DeviantArt page ready to go.
You've done really good work here today. Really proud of us. Oh God.
Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
No.
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, I guess that means we're moving on into our next homework assignment, and kind of surprise to Seth and Bree, Meg's coming back next episode. And so we're going to
It's a
be doing.
surprise.
So we are going to be doing Interview with a Vampire. We're going to be doing the film, not the series. I talked.
Oh.
I talked.
Oh.
I talked with her directly about that, just as a like, kind of like, let's do the movie just to respect everybody's time, because I don't know, everybody's time commitments always end up being kind of weird, week to week. So we'll be doing the film for that, and we will have Megan on next week to talk about it.
Awesome.
That'll be fun.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So I am TCK Media Productions on most platforms. We got That's F23, who you can find posting random crap on TikTok every now and again. And you have Raccoonaloon herself, Bree, and she can sometimes be found on Twitch. She also does a podcast called Game Birds, where she talks about indie video games with her best friend. And also you can catch her on Instagrams and sometimes TikTok.
Maybe
one day. Anyways, that's all we have for this episode of Internet Friends. We will see you guys next time.
Bye.
And scene.